The Gentleman's Robbery. It was a rainy Tuesday in Eastbourne, a sleepy coastal town in England that rarely made headlines. The kind of place where the postman knew your dog's name and strangers still held the door open. So when a man in a tailored gray suit and leather shoes walked into the Lloyd's Bank at 10:07 a.m., no one looked twice. He wasn't sweating. He didn't fidget. No balaclava, no baggy coat, no weapon. Just a folded piece of paper in his hand. He waited in line. When it was his turn, he stepped up to teller Rachel Harris, slid the note across the counter, and gave her a calm, almost apologetic smile. She opened the note. "This is a robbery. Don't speak. Don't press the alarm. Put all the money in the bag. I have a gun." Rachel's breath caught. Her fingers hesitated above the drawer. She looked up, his eyes were calm. Cold. Like a man waiting for his train, not committing a crime. "I don't want to hurt you," he whispered. "Please." She obeyed. Surveillance later showed him walking out just as calmly as he came in. No alarm was triggered. No one screamed. It took nearly 10 minutes before the bank manager even realized what had happened. By then, the man was gone, £6,000 richer. There were no fingerprints. The note was gone. No mask meant no clue. And oddly enough, no witnesses could recall much about his face. Detective Liam Carter, a 22-year veteran, scratched his head as he replayed the footage. Why go to all the trouble without a weapon? For days, there were no leads. Then, a break. A clerk at a small motel on the edge of town reported a guest acting odd. He paid in cash, crisp 20s, and stayed for 2 nights under the name John Fields. He wore the same gray suit every day. Talked to no one. When police arrived, the room was empty. But the suit was there, folded neatly on the bed. In the pocket, they found a receipt from a charity shop for a cheap used briefcase. Carter followed the trail to a second-hand store where the clerk remembered him, a polite man in his 50s, sounded well-educated. Said he used to be a teacher. They found him 2 days later. Michael Preston, age 58. Former English teacher. No record. No history of violence. Divorced. Fired from his job 2 years earlier after budget cuts. Diagnosed with early-stage Parkinson's. He was living in a bedsit and surviving on tea and toast. When they arrested him, he didn't resist. He only asked, "Was the teller okay?" At the station, he told the whole story. He had rehearsed it for weeks. How to look calm, how to write the note without trembling, how to disappear. He never had a weapon. Just the illusion of one. "I didn't want to hurt anyone," he said. "I just didn't want to die poor." The public was divided. Some saw him as a desperate man in a broken system. Others called for maximum punishment. He had still robbed a bank, after all. The court found him guilty of robbery. But here's where it twisted again. Though he never used a weapon, the psychological impact on the teller meant the judge treated it as a serious violent offense. He received 7 years, longer than some armed robbers who actually used guns. Rachel, the teller, never returned to work. The trauma ran too deep. She later said she couldn't trust smiles anymore. Michael served 5 of his 7 years and was released quietly. No interviews. No memoir. Just silence. What stunned the public most wasn't how he did it. It was why. A man who had shaped young minds, loved Shakespeare, quoted Whitman, and corrected his arresting officer's grammar, reduced to crime by loneliness and hopelessness.